I was on a phone call, guys. Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Those Movie Dudes podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan, and I'm advocating heavily for Kaylee Spaney for Best Actress. Do you know who she is? Nope, but you will very soon. Yeah, if you want to follow us, you can do so at Those Movie Dudes on Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, and Twitch. Primarily go on YouTube, type in Those Movie Dudes podcast, all in one word, and you will find this show, and you can watch us in 1080p HD quality. Yeah, we're here to talk about new releases, movie news, first-time watches, finish it off with some mainstream trivia, maybe answer a few of Ducky's questions along the way. But with all that being said, let's welcome in our friends, Lil Tebby and Spencer.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, what's going on?
Did you have Return of the Living Dead as your subtext for the last podcast?
He said that for many podcasts,
Yeah.
I think. I don't know if he knows how to change it, to be honest with you.
I do know how to change it. Don't question my intelligence.
I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm just saying that maybe you don't know how to change that one thing.
Oh, trust me. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
We should do an IQ test sometime for the show to see how smart we actually are.
Just as its own separate podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like a live stream. Yeah.
We are Those Movie Dudes, but are we actually stupid? On the grand scheme of things, just to find out where we actually stand.
Those stupid dudes.
Oh, I know where I stand.
Those stupid idiot guys.
Let's talk about movies. All right.
We have no other knowledge. Here we go. And these are all the movies.
Throw it in the oven. And we're out.
All right. And that's going to do it for the episode. If you want to follow us, that's at Those Movie Dudes. And Peter makes all our beats.
Okay.
Throw in the oven.
Yeah, but what's going on? I think we're going to kick this off with a little bit of movie news / Q&A, Ducky. So if you want to take it away with that, I would be happy to answer any of the questions you have formulated for us.
Okay.
This is movie news.
News. Well, hey, the good news is the SAG is over, so people can go back to work and keep making movies again, which is nice. So there might be some movie news coming up in the near future now that films can go back to shooting. But in the meantime, I still have a question for you guys. Little icebreaker questions, little movie questions that kind of relate to the podcast that we're about to do tonight. And the question that I have for you guys right now, because we watched Watership Down, an animated film from the 1970s that was Nate's pick, excuse me, for the first time watch. So my question to you guys is, what is a live action movie that you want to see remade in animation form? Little kind of a curveball question here, but because Disney is doing all these animated movies in live action form or photorealistic animation, I'd be curious to kind of go backwards a little bit. So what's a live action movie that you'd like to see maybe done as an animated film? Nate, let's start with you.
Mainly because I feel like with animated movies, or just animation in general, you can get away with some more things because it's animated. So I kind of went in my general realm, and I went with the Evil Dead. Imagine an animated Evil Dead with I don't know what studio would do it, but just being able to because you can go over the top with live action and stuff like that, but imagine what they could do with the animation, the trippy woods and all the creepy stuff in the cabin. Then you could just have an animated Bruce Campbell just pop in with a shotgun and just be groovy.
So it's already they had a TV show and stuff. So this is
imagine the animation from the comic book, with Ash versus Freddy versus Jason or something like that. Yeah,
I think it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah,
is there an animated series that they've made, or is it just the show that they did on AMC?
Just the TV show. Yeah, just the TV show. But an animated Evil Dead, that would be a ton of fun. I could see that.
Then it could be really scary. but also really over the top because it's animation. So they could really play up like the blood and stuff. Oh God.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was.
That's
That was
Peter Griffin and Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Evil Dead as an animated movie. I actually love that idea. I think I'd love to see that. Okay. So John, what about you? What do you
Yeah.
want here?
I'm in a very similar realm as Nate because I don't know. I feel like animated movies have gone in a very unique direction these days with the stylistic approach that they've taken with like TMNT and Spider-Man. So you can do pretty much anything you want and make it fun. So I went with Pearl. I think watching Mia Goth as an animated character, still voiced by Mia Goth, just slicing up people in this desolate town and having relations with a scarecrow in animated form could be really cool. Just like any slasher movie, like You're Next or something like that, where there's blood everywhere. You could just do some very cool animated approaches with that, and it could be fun. So that's where I went.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting. It's definitely out of left field. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but I do like I like the idea.
don't tell me that
Man, what
wouldn't
do you
be
think?
cool if given put in the right
Well, what
hands,
about
you know?
X? X came first.
So
You can't just skip. It's like making an animated
Max
Star
Tin's
Wars
coming out
series and skipping the
next
first
year.
one.
it's about making like a porn though, so I don't know if that would work. Like you could make it. I feel like this one is more for the masses than X would be for a smaller audience.
I feel like X
Mhm.
took off more than Pearl, but as an animated movie, I mean maybe that's bias from you because you love Mia Goth so much. But
Maybe I was looking at
yeah,
character wellness too. I'm like, why do I just want to do an Mia Goth movie? This is
just
weird.
Mia Goth in animated form. That's all
An
you
Everest
need.
would also be a great
Just a
one.
cure
so
for
it's like-
wellness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
animated.
all right,
No, they
all
do
right,
have
sure.
an Everest animated movie. It's called Summit of the Gods.
Summer of the
Mia Goth in it?
Gods. That was a great movie. That was actually a rare time where Nate was like, he messaged me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, you should actually watch a movie. It's called The Summit of the Gods on Netflix. Give it a shot." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, okay." So I did. And it
I
was
watched it right
fantastic.
away. Yeah.
It's a great movie. Yeah, honestly, it's on Netflix if you haven't seen it. It's kind of one of these like adult animated movies that is maybe more like R-rated, which is it's interesting when that happens, like Watership Down. My pick, the one I went with, kind of a weird one as well, kind of one out of left field and one that would be super weird to do in animated form. But it is actually Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, just because of like
Oh,
how like there's so much themes with dreams and like in your conscious and not knowing what's reality or fiction, and I just think it would utilize the animation form really well, and I think it would be just a trippy movie to watch. I don't know what style of animation. I would like maybe 2D,
like
for
Scanner
sure.
Darkly.
And I was also thinking rotoscope.
Imagine-
Yeah, Scanner Darkly. I think that would be really, really cool. Although I haven't really sat down and watched that yet. The Scanner Darkly, like the rotoscope animated movie. There's another one that I forget the title of that is pretty notorious to be like a super trippy movie. But yeah, I think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind in animated form. I don't know. I would love to see it. I think that'd be really cool. But
Imagine they used a bunch of different types of animation because they go through so many different like memories
happen,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. It goes from Scanner Darkly to like Studio Ghibli and then to Pixar and just all these weird
Yeah.
different things.
Cool.
I'd pay to see that.
I think
Okay.
highest chance of happening between those three films, probably Nate's pick. I could see that.
Evil Dead, I could easily see that happening, and I would fund it if I could. Like that would be
Right.
fucking awesome.
That would be really
Like
fun.
across like the Spider-Man Spider-Verse type of style, but with Evil Dead.
You can make that
Yeah.
so fun. That could be a whole thing.
It'd be so
guaranteed.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I think out of all those picks, yeah, I'd agree. I think Evil Dead. I think that's the winner. Okay.
Gold
All right.
star
So we'll
movie.
have a
Gold star.
discussion of Watership Down, the adult oriented animated film that Nate picked for the podcast later on. Yeah, incorrect. So my next question for you guys, because we watched a couple of movies from the new releases this week that were very just vibey. They just had a certain feel to them. And so I wanted to ask you guys, what would you consider to be your ultimate vibes film? Like one that you just kind of resonate emotionally or spiritually to, one that like kind of transport you through the screen, you kind of feel the emotion or the atmosphere. What movie comes to mind when you hear the word vibes? That's not necessarily like a good movie or like set aside story structure or like flaws and stuff, just a vibey movie. Go for it.
I didn't want to pick the obvious in like Pitch Perfect, National Treasure, or like Spectacular Now, or like Fault in Our Stars. I can't do that to you guys. So I chose to pick a movie. Do you want me to go? I have a few here. Do you want me to go very dark or happy? What would you prefer?
I'll let you do both, but let's start with let's start with the dark one first.
Start with the dark. Okay, this is a movie that makes you want to put a gun in your mouth. It is Hereditary, and if you want to feel like just if you want to feel like just everything is doomed and society is fucked and there's nothing good in the world, Hereditary is that movie. So yeah, that movie just makes me feel icky and gross and disgusting and worthless and sad. So if you ever want to feel all those emotions all at once, that's the movie for you.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And I think you can all agree with me there. I mean, come on. It's that movie fucks you up no matter what. And I've seen it like 6 times, which is horrible because I just want to keep showing it to people.
But I wouldn't want to be transported to that world.
No,
like,
no, I'm not.
Thing. I don't want those vibes.
It depends on the vibes you're trying to acquire. The ones I would really want is About Time, which is just such a happy, heartwarming film.
Just opposites.
I know, man. Put these movies together. It's a great double feature, if you ask me. As you can tell, Hereditary is not even open for a good reason. But
Man,
I just
About Time. I forget.
Have you? Yes.
Yeah,
we did an episode on it a long time ago.
We did. Okay, gotcha.
It's
because Margot Robbie's in it, and I didn't realize that until she came on screen, and I was like, okay, all right.
Rachel McAdams is in it. I mean, it's just Donald Gleason. Bill Nye is just like the best dad ever that you could ever hope for.
What's the vibes of that movie to
you? Wholesome hug.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Thank you.
Does that work for you?
All right. Okay. Yeah, I love it. All right, perfect. All right, so Nate, how about you? What would you consider to be your ultimate vibes film?
Well, since John did 2, can I do 2?
No.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Because one of them is kind of a similar happy and dark. For my happy one, I would go with Days of Heaven.
Okay. What kind of vibes for that?
It's just very. You have such an open world. You just freedom. You feel free when you're watching this movie, and you feel transported to the Great Plains, and
Terrence
you kind of feel how. Huh?
It's Terrence Malick. It's Terrence Malick movie. Yeah,
it is Terrence Malick movie. Yes, it is. But it's just the way that it makes me want to be there and just be in this time period where people are just desperate for work and they're willing to do anything for it, and they just hop on a train and they live. I don't know. It's much simpler time. Okay. And then I'm just gonna go crazy and just say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, man.
Christ. Yep.
For that, I feel gross and uncomfortable.
For sure.
Just the
that
heat,
dinner scene.
The heat,
oh my god.
The Texas heat, the fact that they worked like a 28-hour straight shoot in like 130-degree weather in the house when they were shooting day for night, and just how uncomfortable everyone had to be. It's just whenever I watch that movie, I don't want to eat while I'm watching it. I don't want to do anything like that because I'm just afraid I'm going to throw it up.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like where you guys are going. I'm going to go kind of in a similar route. For me, the ultimate vibes movie, and it's one that I just realized is like my ultimate vibes movie when we rewatched it maybe like a year ago, but it's the Grand Budapest Hotel. You can categorize Wes Anderson in general as just like all of his movies just feel so cozy. Like you just want to like have a hot chocolate or like a hot toddy, a blanket. You know, it might be snowing outside, and then you just put on a Wes Anderson film, especially The Grand Budapest Hotel. In my opinion, it's just it's everything that I love about movies in general. So I think that would be the ultimate vibes movie. And then on the other side, for me, Drive. I mean, Ryan Gosling and that soundtrack and that atmosphere, just everything about that movie. Just when you're driving, even still when I'm driving around at night, I just think of that movie and just like even want to put on the soundtrack. So I just Drive. That movie is just ultimate vibes in my opinion. The pink text Drive, yeah, it's just Scorpion, everything about it.
So, I like those choices because like sometimes you want to throw a cat out a window and sometimes you want to beat the shit out of somebody with a hammer in an elevator. So
yeah, and stomp on somebody's face. Yeah, 100%.
I totally,
Did he do it with a
totally see where you're
hammer?
coming from.
I thought he just beat him with his fist.
He killed her with a hammer, right? In an elevator?
He didn't kill her with a hammer, but he stomped on someone's face until it like moved in.
He was also holding a hammer, I think, though. He had a hammer.
Holding a hammer for sure. Yeah.
I don't know if he used it for the bludgeoning, but he did have.
He may have like hit him initially. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a while, but Drive. Yeah,
bring it back. Movie. Bring it back.
Okay, so that's my questions for you guys. If you guys ever want to, we got to start doing this more often, but we'll post some like Q&As in the Instagram stories if you follow us at ThoseMovieDudes, and sometimes maybe your questions will be the intro to our podcast. So ask the questions if you see the prompt on your Instagram stories. Make sure you're following us, and hopefully we'll post them sporadically. So that is that segment. So
very nice, Ducky. I like it. Okay. Are we doing movie news or is that movie news?
Well, the movie news that I said initially at the beginning was just, the SAG strike is over. So going forth, maybe there'll be some more awesome news.
That's the extent of the news
to talk about. Yeah.
But okay.
I don't know. I kind of like the questions instead, but I don't know.
I like it. I like it. Well, with that being said, we have a few new releases to get to, so let's do it.
Oh boy.
Oh. Whoa.
Whoa.
You shouldn't play with fire, kids. You should not play with fire. But yeah, this is the segment where we're going to break down some of the new releases that we checked out this week. I think there's going to be a main movie that we talk about for the most part and then a few mini reviews here. But let's kick it off with The Killer.
Oh, boy.
The Finch.
Yeah, baby.
The Finch is back.
Yeah, with Michael Fassbender.
He's here for
back in a movie since X-Men Dark Phoenix. Like he literally has not been in a movie since, and all of a sudden now he's
not in a lot of stuff in general. Honestly, after doing some research today,
he was after X-Men First Class that came out in like 2011, and even before then, he made a lot of like small roles. Like I mean, Hunger 2008, Steve McQueen movie that we all watched. I mean, he was fantastic in that. He nominated for Best Supporting Actor in 12 Years a Slave. He was in Shame, which is an NC-17 graphic movie that's really fucked up.
I want to see that.
Yeah, it's intense. And he obviously Magneto, young Magneto in all the X-Men movies. And he has been in a movie since X-Men Dark Phoenix, and now he's finally back leading a movie directed by David Fincher, who has just been making Netflix movies recently. His last theatrical release movie was Gone Girl, 2014. It's been almost 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Mank did. Yeah, Mank was just straight Netflix, wasn't it?
And you guys haven't seen Mank, right? You guys didn't watch
it? I wanted to, but I think the hype died down after like a week from him. Like, oh, that's cool. Black and white David Fincher, don't care. You know,
I kind of forgot.
It just
until I saw it. I was like, I think I saw it on Netflix somewhere, and I was like, oh, I remember that. Because isn't it about the guy who wrote Citizen Kane or something like that?
Yep.
And
Gary Oldman.
That's not a draw
got her first Oscar nomination for it. It was written by his dad, who had like never written a movie before. I really liked Mank, but it doesn't have a lot of like great word of mouth, or I don't know, it didn't have a lot of good legs going for it. But the thing is, it released in 2020 during the pandemic, and It was like everyone's at home and you see a David Fincher movie on Netflix. Like I got hyped. So I enjoyed it, but this movie definitely got me pretty excited seeing that it was Michael Fassbender back, and he was just like a straightforward hitman movie. So I don't know. I was really hyped about it. But what did you guys know about this? And then what?
I knew nothing about it other than the fact that it was coming out, and pretty much what we've already discussed. David Fincher hasn't done a movie in a while, and same with Michael Fassbender. But I just know that you have always loved Hitman games. Like we've played so many video games where it's like essentially a Hitman. It's either the game Hitman or a game with aspects that are similar to that, where you just kind of love being stealth, whereas I just run in guns blazing. So I don't know. I was excited because I knew you would be very excited for this movie to check it out.
For sure. And ultimately, that's what this movie felt like when you were watching it. It felt like you were watching David Fincher playing a couple of missions of the Hitman video game, because the movie was very hollow, in my opinion. The story was quite empty. Like there was a lot there if you look into it, and if you know who David Fincher is as a person. Like he's very like meticulous, he's precise, he has like a routine. I mean, he put a lot of himself like kind of into this character, and like there's a lot of like similarities due to his like obsession and OCD with making movies and like comparing it to the profession of being a hitman. So like, it's kind of funny if you look into it in that regard. But regardless, this was like watching David Fincher playing a video game. I loved it. It was a little bit of style over substance, and I was totally okay with that because it was David Fincher doing it. You're gonna have fantastic editing. You're gonna have an awesome action sequence and just cinematography. So I loved it. I don't know about you guys. So let's get into it. Nate, what'd you think about The Killer with David Fincher?
So I've been trying to be more susceptible to these like new release big movies, and I'm not usually a fan of just jumping on something that just gets thrown on streaming. This time I was, because I was sucked into this character, and just a lot of times narration bugs me because I just don't feel that it fits, or it's like a character talking that you don't meet until later in the movie. No, this narration is this character right now, and it made it that much easier to follow. And I get what you mean about it being kind of hollow and not a whole lot. Oh, the Holdovers. But yeah, no, Michael Fassbender is just terrifying, and it shows that hitmen aren't just these unstoppable. Oh, I'm getting a phone call.
All right, we got to start over.
No.
All right.
So many things have gone wrong.
But yeah, it shows how human he is. Like he's not this unstoppable hitman. He like gets the crap kicked out of him one of these times.
That was a big dude.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun just kind of seeing him changing all these personas and whatnot. And yeah, I had a great time.
And like, despite how like meticulous he is, and like how like he has like a plan for seemingly for everything, yeah, like he's human. He fucks up. He missed the shot at the beginning. Like, and he's
there's so much lead up. There's so much lead up and precision.
Exactly.
And, like, he spent days camping this place out and setting up his weapon every single night and sleeping with his watch. He's like to the second. Like misses the shot. Like it's crazy. It's so meticulous. And I did want to say, to your point, Nate, with the narration, every single killer show or movie seems to have some sort of inner monologue, like Barry and Dexter, and now this movie. It just kind of works. American Psycho, because you want to be in this character's head. That's what this
felt like.
Yeah, you want to be.
That's what this guy felt like.
So, yeah, it works. Yeah,
but I thought it was kind of funny though, because he talks about like all this perfection and how you have to be precise and don't improvise and stuff like that. But then he ends up screwing the whole mission up. So I kind of laughed when it happened.
Pretty brutal fashion.
Talking about you have to do the right thing. You just have to do it. Yeah. You pull yourself out of it. You're not part of this. And then you just have to be precise. I have to be at 60 beats per minute, and boom, I fucked it up.
Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan.
Okay.
Don't have empathy, which he fucking has. I mean, with the many instances, I mean, he has the girlfriend, and so he instantly gets to the revenge factor into his bones when he sees that his girlfriend was beaten up after the job was botched, and he goes down a revenge path of finding who was responsible for sending those people. So I mean, he does ultimately have some empathy, despite what he says and does. And despite how precise he is and meticulous, and it's just how good he is at his job, he fucks up. He orders shit off Amazon, which I thought was so funny.
The key fob replicator thing.
Yeah, exactly. It just the way it's just exactly like a Hitman movie, but just with David Fincher's style, it worked so well.
Wasn't it so grounded in 2023 as well? Because he is using Amazon and he's going to McDonald's to get a bacon, egg, and cheese as he's waiting to go murder this person. It's the most meta
routine
killer movie. It's very routine.
It's so interesting. Yeah, and he goes to the pharmacy when he goes to see the brute, and he gets the sleeping pills and the meat just because he knows the dog's going to be there. He has a plan for everything. So I was so engaged watching him just execute. Oh, did I just? Sorry, I thought I just unplugged my mic. Watching him execute his mission and his plan, and also just how he's going to just kill everybody. How that lady was essentially please don't make me disappear. Let my kids collect my life insurance. And he just makes it look like an accident, she fell down the stairs. I mean, he's cold, he's brutal, he's ruthless. He is a terrible person, but he was so engaging for some reason without really speaking that much. So I don't know. I just was really impressed with the overall quality of the movie, despite it being so simplistic.
It's very kind of film noir-esque at times, especially the opening sequence where I love the very yellowish green lighting. It felt just very, again, video game aspects or comic booky and gritty. And I just think that David Fincher did such a good job with that aspect of the movie. And what happened there? I lost my train of thought now. No, but I really like the cinematography in the movie was just gorgeous. It really was just, especially this was the first movie I watched on my new TV, and it looked, if it was the 4K, I can guarantee you it would be next level, but it's still streaming at the end of the day.
Yeah, so this guy, his cinematographer that he just started working with, his name is Eric something. It starts with an M. I'm blanking on his last name, but he shot Mank, and he won an Oscar for cinematography for Mank.
Oh wow,
Mank looked incredible. Yeah, it was great, and he also shot a handful of other movies since then. But he is probably, I mean, he's up there with Greg Fraser as he understands digital cameras like no other person, and so he knows how to really I mean, obviously frame a shot, but the lighting in particular is so incredible. So I mean, he is a great cinematographer. So it's exciting to see whenever he's attached to a project. But
there's some really cool black focuses in this movie too. Because you're watching this so much from his perspective, you're, as he's kind of stalking his prey almost, you see it and then it racks to him, and it's very, very meticulous, again, just with the style of how they approach making this movie.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of cool at a point where he thinks he's being followed, and he keeps looking at that one guy kind of at the beginning, and he's like, I don't know if he's after me or what, but I should probably change my flight just in case. And the way he's able to just change everything around it just in case something is to go wrong, because he sees him on the plane and he does all this different stuff. But if I could feel the tension, he was gonna get caught by somebody, whether it was the authorities or members of his own organization.
What's crazy, if he had gone home when he was supposed to, he probably could have saved, the situation from happening at his house, because he went home a day late. So that happened in the meantime.
Then he could have also been there.
He could have also been there, and I guarantee you he would have stopped it.
Yeah, probably.
I
don't know. For me, I was just so excited to see Michael Fassbender back in a leading role kicking ass, and I thought delivering like a really unique. He has such a unique presence, and working with David Fincher, I don't know. I just thought it was a really good pairing, and I just really enjoyed like the simplistic approach to this movie. And like I said, like the story is a little empty and a little hollow, and you don't really get too attached with what's like character development is pretty weak, but there's some great sequences that just make up for it, I thought. But I don't know. Do you think it'll have any Oscar
It might get
contention or
cinematography again,
nominations?
especially now that you mentioned that
I don't
he already
know.
won. I think it looked beautiful. Like I
It
don't
did look nice.
like
I could see maybe getting editing, but I thought the sound design was incredible. I thought the sound
yeah,
design was great, but I was also listening to it with AirPods on noise canceling, so I don't know if that helped or not. But yeah,
it might have. Um,
Yeah, I don't
yeah, I don't know
see
about
it
any other
getting
nominations.
much.
I don't see it getting much
Just
either. Yeah.
It it got the Golden
because I don't.
Lion Award for best film. I don't know what that's from.
Oh,
Is
that's
that from
from
That's
Venice,
Sundance?
from
Oh,
the
that's Venice.
Venice Film
Yeah.
Festival. That's where it premiered, and it's gotten a lot of 3 to 4 out of stars on like Letterboxd, and I think IMDb has it as like a 7.0, which I totally get because I get the disconnect that this could have, and especially with David Fincher, who's pretty known for telling really engaging stories and just being very like I said meticulous, but like he kind of just went with a vibe for this movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So I'll get into my grade. I went 4.5 out of 5. Like I
Wow.
vibed with this movie all the way through. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm definitely gonna watch it by the end of the year just to see where it ranks in terms of like my favorite of the year, but it's up there for me for sure. You're watching a master at his craft, just making a movie that is so perfect to his like who he is as a person. So it's just I don't know. I resonated with it. I thought it was very fun. So I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. I have similar opinions. I don't think it bothered me. It didn't. I mean, you give it a 4.5, so that's very high. But like I think with a character like this, you have to expect them to be very closed off, and yet we still get this like very internal narration. And just by the way that he conducts himself, by the way that he describes the situations he's in, you're learning more about who this character is based on that. And like it was a fascinating story. I love a movie that follows a killer. You're in his head the whole time. It's a cool place to be, and sometimes it's not. So I gave this a 4 out of 5. This is one of those movies, like if it does come out on 4K, I would buy it. So yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It would have to be a Criterion 4K because that's the only way Netflix releases their
Fuck you,
physical
Netflix.
media, and
Fuck
it's
you,
not going to
Netflix.
happen because Mank Disney 4K. All right,
Someday.
4 out of 5 for John. Nate, would you give The Killer?
I gave Michael Fassbender's The Killer. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I did.
Dang.
I
Yeah.
had a heck of a good time with it, and it was just so easy to follow. And I like the simplicity sometimes because it just makes it that much easier to just kind of get immersed in his character. And he's not someone that you should like look up to or think is a good person, but
God no.
the way he was able to try and convince the audience that you have to keep yourself separated from it, like no empathy. You don't know these people, you're just doing a job, and it just happens to be taking life. But Michael Fassbender is so good. He's really only not that great as Harry Hole in The Snowman.
That movie's so disappointing, dude. Yeah.
And just about everything. Harry Hole.
Is that his name? Oh my
Detective
god.
Harry Hole.
That's his name in the movie. Is Harry Hole. Yeah.
That's what the movie felt like, a Harry Hole, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Not that I would
Smelled
know.
like one too. But
Yeah.
yeah, just Michael Fassbender, David Fincher. This is just a good combo. I hope to see it again in the future. And just a really cool take on what hitmen would do in this type of situation. But of course, we're never going to know unless one of them is coming up behind us, and then at that point,
It's already
don't really
over.
have a choice. Yep, it's over. Like that, the guy in the taxi. I was like, oh, scot-free.
Yeah,
Nope.
that scene. After that scene, you knew that whoever he came into contact with, done. It's not gonna
Just
go. It's not
about-
gonna end well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
It reminded me of
like-
the scene in Barry season 1 with his friend. Yeah. Anyways, deep cut reference. All right,
Sure.
Killer on Netflix.
Killer.
David Fincher. It's
Go watch
him.
it.
It's him just having the most fun I think he's ever made having a movie. My guess. I don't know. That's just how it felt watching it. So
Going
The
to all
Killer.
those exotic places and
Yeah.
Having the different
He's just
chapters
like,
being
yeah, let's
essentially like the
travel
missions and
everywhere. How
Hitman.
fun!
Yeah.
let's go to the Dominican
Sure, yeah.
Republic and hang out in the jungle.
Yeah.
Kill a couple
Louisiana,
people. Why not?
Florida.
Yeah. Michael Fassbender, he loves yoga and McDonald's. All right.
really
Without
Killer
the
as well.
biscuit. Did you notice that? It was like
probably bad, not good carbs. Yeah, he's very lean.
No,
He's
if,
slick.
it's solid protein as well. It's okay.
Did you notice the references to the samurai, Nate?
what do you mean?
Just like
like
one being the fucking costume that he's wearing in the poster and in the beginning of the movie, a direct nod to the samurai, and also just like in terms of just it's the hitman who has a routine. He has a way of doing things. He doesn't say much. He just kind of executes his plan, goes about his day, deals with the people he needs to that get away. Very similar to the samurai.
Yeah, and then because in Last Samurai, that I think something goes wrong, and then he has to hide because people are after him, and he doesn't know who's involved and who's not. So yeah, no, I get that now.
Cool. Okay. I just didn't mention that in the review, but I totally saw it.
I didn't at the time, but now that you say it,
oh,
I get it now.
So like I was thinking that almost the entire time, even before this movie came out. The poster, I was like, wait, that looks very similar to Samurai. The fedora and the coat. Anyways, what's the next movie, John?
So the next movie we're gonna talk about here is a movie that you were very, very hyped about, and I didn't happen to get a chance to see it today, but it is The Holdovers.
Oh, you didn't go see The Holdovers?
Didn't get a chance, unfortunately, but I'm excited to hear your thoughts on The Holdovers.
Yeah, no, this is a movie that I was really excited to go and check out because this had a lot of Oscar buzz. It has Oscar buzz for Paul Giamatti and Best Actor. What's her name? Divine Joy Randolph for Best Supporting Actress, and even Dominic Sessa for Best Supporting Actor. He's never been in a movie before, but all three performances, some of the best of the year by far. This is written and directed by, or not written, but it's directed by Alexander Payne. Obviously, you guys have probably heard of him or seen some of his movies. He's done Nebraska, The Descendants, Sideways, Election. I mean, he's done a whole bunch of stuff. Let's not mention Downsizing, but the whole
I didn't put it on there.
The premise is very simple. It's a very like Christmassy, wintry type movie. But it's about a cranky history teacher at a remote prep school who is forced to remain on campus over the holidays with a troubled student who has no place to go. It has a lot of Good Will Hunting, a lot of Dead Poet Society type of vibes, a lot of coming of age feels. This movie is essentially just winter Christmas sweatshirts, hot go in a movie form. It's so wonderful. This is my favorite movie of the year that I've seen. I've seen 138 movies of 2023. This is my favorite because it transported me through the screen, and I just was enjoying every moment of it. It's a little long. It's like 2 hours and 14 minutes. I thought it was ending maybe a couple of times before, and it kept going. But when it kept going, I was actually totally okay with it, and I liked what it still had to say. I think Alexander Payne is a just fantastic director. He gets great performances out of his actors. Paul Giamatti is phenomenal as the lead. He is so great. He has this like lazy eye in the movie where like you don't know where to look when he's talking because like you don't know where he's looking. It's really funny. Also, just the movie in general is super funny. But it just has a lot of feel good vibes throughout the movie, and it's a Christmas classic. So highly recommended. Just got a wide release. It's just it's got a 4.2 on IMDb. I think it has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, 91% audience, 8.4 on IMDb. So like it's got some critical acclaim, and the audience that I saw it with, they were loving it, and I took my girlfriend, and she loved too. So it's
nice.
a great coming of age film that just got released that not a lot of people know about. So I definitely highly recommend it. I think it's going to sweep at the Oscars, Best Picture, Screenplay, performances, you name it. So it's fantastic. The Holdovers. Go and see it.
So I have tickets to see it tomorrow. I'm gonna go after work to see it at the dine-in theater, so it should be a wonderful.
I think you'd give it like a 3.5 to a 4. I don't know if you'd vibe with it as much.
That's a good movie.
I don't know. It just like time and just like where I was just kind of just escaped when I went to the theater. I just was engrossed with this movie. It was so great. I don't know. I was transported into the 1970s when it took place. It felt like a long lost movie from the 70s, just from like how it's filmed and the intro of the film. It's a really unique movie. So I loved it.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. And I will say, I was wondering where I recognized Divine Joy Randolph from.
The Idol. Yeah,
The Idol. She's like the sassy band manager or lady.
I think she's the front runner to win Best Supporting Actress at the moment.
Wow,
she's a lock for a nomination for sure, but she will. I don't know. I think she might win. We'll see.
I love it. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. And the next movie that I think only I had the chance to check out, or did you have a chance to watch this, Spencer?
It is playing near me now in most theaters, but no, I have not seen it yet.
Well, either way, it is Priscilla, the new Sofia Coppola directed film that follows kind of the early relationship between Priscilla Presley and Elvis Presley. So in this movie, we got Kaylee Spaney, who did win Best Actress at the Saturn Award, or not the Saturn Award, whatever it is. The same award that The Killer won. The same award ceremony. So I'm saying she's got a chance. I think she was fantastic in this movie. I love the way that Sofia Coppola kind of approached it. It's a very delicately articulated story. It's a delicate story to begin with because Elvis isn't really portrayed in the most positive light in this movie. He is for a majority of it, and then as it goes on, you're like, okay, man, he was kind of a dick here and there.
And you hadn't seen Elvis from last year,
yeah,
the Baz Luhrmann, Austin Butler Oscar sweep.
I think I boycotted it so much because I was like, Brendan Fraser's getting that Oscar. I don't give a shit what Austin Butler did. I don't care. Brendan Fraser deserves the Oscar because he's playing a very specific character and he was incredible. I don't need to watch somebody doing an Elvis impression. That doesn't mean his performance wasn't good, but I think regardless, an Elvis impression shouldn't win over what Brendan Fraser did, and it didn't. So I'm happy with that. But with that being said, Jacob Elordi was amazing in this movie. Like he gives it his own. He isn't doing a full-on like suffocating impression of the character. He is his own guy, and it's kind of like before Elvis was Elvis. Like you're so much from Priscilla's perspective that what you see of Elvis is still like through her eyes. So it's less of the character of Elvis and more of like the partner. So it was a fantastic movie. I was blown away with the acting. I love the story. It's a tragic romance, like marital drama. Nate, you would be all over this.
Nate, I feel like you would really like this. I don't know.
Yeah, you would love this movie.
Yeah.
And she's not the greatest filmmaker, but when she really cares about the stories that she's telling, she does a great job. Like Virgin Suicide and Lost in Translation are great movies.
From the mouths of the actors themselves, they're like, this movie was like so personal to her. Like she made this like from her heart. So like I think you absolutely feel that. It's the costume design of this movie is like amazing. Like it's so good. So I think it's in my top 3 right now. I think it's my number 3 movie. It could climb. Honestly, it could go to my number 1 now that I'm talking about it more. It's that good. So I gave it a 4.5. I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5. I'm gonna switch it right now.
4.5. Oh, okay. Because
I was gonna say, I'm like,
Letterboxd.
Spencer's doing some killer stuff.
I know. It's up to a 4.5. If you want to reload that page, it should be a 4.5 now. Let's see.
Does it really make you want to go back in time and live in the 60s, like you said?
It does. It does. I want to dress like those people. I don't want to get cheated on by Elvis, but other than that, I think it would be a fun place to, experience if I could go back in time. So
the poster makes me think it's a period piece, like a real, like old period piece.
I could see why you think that. It's just the way that she kind of dressed is just so above and beyond, like eloquent. So
all right. So
it's very Jackie Kennedy vibes. Yeah.
Would you recommend a theatrical experience with Priscilla, or could you watch this when it comes out on Amazon Prime in 2 weeks, month?
You know what? I was smiling, I was laughing, I was, like tearing up at times. I don't think this is a movie that you have to see in theaters, but I was kind of glad I did. So if you have the time, I would recommend it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Why not?
Fair enough. So that was Priscilla. Nate, do you think you'll go and see this movie if it's playing theater near you?
Maybe.
I didn't tell you on it.
It depends if Holdovers is in there.
Yeah.
But Priscilla, see, I'm not a huge Elvis person, so stuff like that, it doesn't interest me as much. But if it's from her perspective, then because I'm kind of on the same boat as John. I don't want to see just another impression, but just
fair enough
because it's Baz Luhrmann, it's going to be this big.
Yeah, this is not that. This is not that at all. It's very personal. It's very self-contained. Like there's times where you're just left alone with her at Elvis's house in Graceland, and everyone's like, she's just alone.
It's A24.
It's A24 as well. Yep.
Oh,
it's
Coppola. Yeah, she's been doing A24 stuff for a couple of years.
Yeah. But yeah, with that being said, let's move on to the last new release of the week. It is a movie I believe only Spencer's seen, but here we go with
Nyad.
Wow,
we are gonna do Nyad. All right, yeah, this is exciting.
I saw this.
Oh, you saw this?
Also, checked it out. Yeah, because this was in the rundown to watch, and John was like, "No, Annette Bening, I'm not gonna watch it." And so
Jodie Foster
Nate and I were the only ones to watch it. Yeah, exactly. A female-led sports movie with
no, thank you. Jodie Foster at 60? I don't think so.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think she should get an Oscar nomination, but she's not going to. Like,
this movie won't get anything. I can tell you right now. Just looking at the poster.
Yeah, this is from the directors of Free Solo, which is a fantastic documentary that came out a couple of years ago. Remember seeing that in theaters? I think with John. I think we saw that in theaters.
We saw it in IMAX in Atlanta, actually.
Yeah, it was crazy. Great movie. But this is their kind of debut with a narrative, not fictional, but like a narrative movie. They made one. They've only been making documentaries, and they had Annette Bening, Jodie Foster, and it's a true story of Diana Nyad, who at the age of 60, and with the help of her best friend and coach, played by Jodie Foster, commits to achieving her lifelong dream, a 110-mile open ocean swim from Cuba to Florida.
That's
just
so
a
far.
absurd dream that she is very insistent that she does, and she's very selfish. She doesn't really care about her friends that much in terms, I don't know, it doesn't come across that way. And it's got some Oscar buzz, and obviously with the Free Solo directors, I'm curious to see what they were going to produce. It's on Netflix. It's an easy watch. So Nate, you checked it out along with me. So what did you think of Nyad?
I thought the character of Diana Nyad was just the most egotistical, just tunnel vision. She doesn't listen to anyone else, and it made me just, that's like the main reason why the movie, like, it's okay, but I like the sport aspect of it. I think swimming's cool. It's really hard, especially when you have to do what she did. And the fact that it actually goes into like what can happen if you're out in the ocean for this amount of time, and with like sleep deprivation and what all the precautions that have to take place. But I think the star of this is Jodie Foster. I haven't seen her this good in so long, and she looks amazing. Like,
oh my god, yeah, she's super fit and like, and, like just an incredible performance, especially for supporting role. She's
super witty.
She gives like some great monologues, being like, "Wake the fuck up and realize what we're doing for you, please." I don't know. She just had some great moments. This is her film, to be honest. Despite the fact that it's Diana Nyad and it's Annette Bening, she tried her best for this nomination, but this is Jodie Foster's movie. Like, this is she is incredible in this role. She's very encouraging. She's so bleed heart, and from the real footage and the real life people, like, it just looks like she nailed who that person is in real life, which was really fascinating to kind of watch afterwards. As far as the movie goes, the story is really interesting, and it's just kind of ridiculous. Just like, how could you have this dream? But it does have that like underdog sports feel to it, where like you are like essentially rooting for her and be like, all right, let's go, let's see this happen. I did feel like it was a little repetitive, especially because it took her 5 attempts to finally get it. But like, I don't know, just
that's when I started feeling the obnoxiousness of it. I was like, come on.
Exactly, yeah. And there were some very unintentional, hilarious shots of her in the water, just all dazed and confused, and like with her goggles, just like pressing her face back, and she just looks so ridiculous. I just laughed really hard a couple times. But yeah, no, like I said, it has a like underdog sports feel to it, which I do like. But I don't know, I was a little underwhelmed by it overall. I don't know about you, Nate.
Yeah, I tend to look at these ones, and I like the sports aspect of it. Just seeing how something like this can be done when there was like a 32-year difference between the first time she does it and then now. And kind of hard to believe, but obviously she did it. It's in the history books. All the stuff that she went through, and I thought their attention to detail though with it was kind of cool when she's coming out of the water and stuff, and they have all these precautions, like don't touch her, don't let her touch the boat.
Yeah, she can't touch the boat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be a completely unassisted. And for people that don't know, when she first attempted this, she did it in like basically a shark cage so that she wouldn't get attacked and stuff like that. So just seeing the development of it.
Yeah, like she's fighting the currents, where she's essentially just like she's swimming for like 2 hours, but essentially making no progress. In fact, backwards. Like, that's so soul crushing to know that, like, how could anyone do this? But she did it, and she did it at the age of 64. Yeah,
something like that. But I tended to care more about Jodie Foster and the Bartlett character, who was like the ship owner.
The navigator.
He did all. Yeah, he was super interesting because he like was real with them. Be like, look, you think it's just this and that, but no, if you don't, you're gonna be, like you said, you're gonna swim for 4 hours straight. Oh, you just lost 12 miles or something like that. So, or
in
the way he
describes it was great.
Yeah, the way he describes it's just like one degree to the right, you're going towards Africa. One to the west, you're going to Texas. So it's like this has to be calculated. But I just can't say enough. It's just Jodie Foster just being an amazing friend and playing this character to a T. It was awesome.
I think that Jodie Foster is a lock for Best Supporting Actress. She is gonna fight Divine Joy Randolph for Best Supporting Actress for sure with the Holdovers.
I want to see the Holdovers now, see how good that performance is, and I can kind of judge it a little better.
Going optimistic. I mean, forget what my praise. I just vibe with it. I mean,
but I can't. Now that I know, I go in with it. It's just that's just how humans are.
Fine, but regardless, Nyad, it's on Netflix. If you are into like the sports underdog type of stories and really good performances and watching these documentary filmmakers make a narrative movie, I think it's worth watching. So I went 3 out of 5. It's a solid watch. I think it's a little too long, a little too repetitive. She's a little too selfish for me to really care, but Jodie Foster kind of swooped in and saved it. I'd say it's closer to a 3.5 than it is a 2.5. So I went 3 overall. What'd you go? 8.
I went 3.5 mainly because Jodie Foster was great, and I love the soundtrack. The fact that they were playing Janis Joplin and Simon and Garfunkel, like all those songs that they have to be 4/4 time. That way it matches the way she swims. And I thought that was kind of cool. Like
that was cool.
Even though she's very obnoxious and overbearing, I can see it from the athlete side and be like, oh yeah, you have to get into that zone where you do the same song for 9 hours straight, and that's, or if you do it so many times, it's 9 hours worth, 250,000 paddles. It's crazy, but not the greatest movie. But I appreciate that they were able to tell this story and have Jodie Foster just kind of shine.
Yeah. So, John, if this does get a Best Supporting Actress nomination with Jodie Foster, you do have to watch it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we say that every year, where like, oh, you have to watch every movie that's been nominated in every category, and then we have this list of 50 movies to watch, and then I forget or I just don't. But I'll try.
Okay, fair enough. I feel like I'm going to be ahead of the game this year. Which,
you already are. You definitely already are. But
I think that's all the new releases. I mean, there was a whole bunch of other stuff that we watched that we don't necessarily.
I watched 3 movies yesterday.
Right.
I can just give you grades if you want, but otherwise we can just move on.
You can just move on here. If you do want to know our thoughts on any of the movies that we watch week by week, just follow us on Letterboxd. The link is in our bio on Instagram, so just follow us there, and you'll see all the movies that we watch every day.
All of them.
Also, I just moved Priscilla to my number 1, and it just feels right. So I'm happy. I did.
Nice. I did that with the Holdovers today. I had that at number 3. I'm like, you know what?
Fuck it. It doesn't feel right.
I'm not in order yet.
I also moved Past Lives to 4. I had it at 1. I just moved it to 4, and I feel better about it because like it didn't make me feel that happy.
As much as I love Oppie, I mean, I don't want to rewatch it again. I could watch the Holdovers right now if I had the opportunity to. Anyways, moving on. Let's get into our next segment here. What are we doing here? We are going to do first time watches, bitches.
First time watches, are you watching with us? We're those movie dudes, and we about to discuss another movie that we've never seen. So grab some popcorn and pull up a seat.
We're all doing it now. We all brought our popcorn. Yeah, so the next movie we're going to be talking about is going to be...
Hey.
Does not match what this movie is.
Hey.
What is this, Nate? Please just what
Oh,
what are we doing?
This is
explain what this is and
gem
and why you picked it.
Yeah.
So
what's a Watership, by the way? I don't know what that is. And why is it down?
It just is.
Okay.
It just is. And you just need to accept it for what it is. Because I picked this movie because, first of all, it's on Criterion. So I will eventually own it at some point. One of the only like 4 animated movies in the Criterion collection, to say. But yeah, it's just basically when a warren or a group of rabbits belonging to a community is threatened, a brave group leader led by Fiver, Bigwig, Blackberry, and Hazel leave their homeland
what about Dandelion?
in a search for a new safe haven.
Warren.
It's just it's basically just the existential life portrayed by rabbits. And when they see human innovation and stuff kind of taking over their land, they need to nomadically move and go find somewhere else. But on the way, they meet some not very nice rabbits, a very stereotypically racist seagull.
Yeah.
and probably the most blood you'll ever see in an animated movie. And like that's
unless they make Evil Dead as an animated movie at some
and
point.
if they make Evil Dead, I will donate money just so I could be an executive producer.
Wow.
But
Or to be
no,
one of the people murdered on the movie. That'd be fun.
I would definitely be down to be a character.
Yeah.
But this movie is just the animation is so light, and I find this type of animation really pretty. It almost looks like oil wet paintings, and then just the way that they're able to animate these rabbits. But it is not necessarily a kids movie. I would not have a child and then at like age 5 be like, yeah, let's watch Watership Down. Like, no,
This is rated PG.
that ain't happening. Yeah, but this was 10 years before PG was even a thing. And
was it just G or R back then? Like it was
I
like
think so,
one or the other.
honestly. Yep.
Yeah,
G, R, and
PG
then maybe
or R.
X before NC-17 was a thing. But
Yeah.
No, it's just, and there's not a lot of big actors in this. The biggest one's John Hurt, who was Elephant Man, and he was an Alien and a bunch of other things. Harry Potter,
Hercules.
Yep. And
Watership Down.
But yeah, so what did you guys think, Mr. Spencer over there?
Just kidding.
Yeah. I knew this was gonna be kind of an adult animated movie. I knew that it was gonna have some kind of disturbing themes to it. I had heard of this movie for many years, but I think Nate, you were the one to kind of bring this movie up and not recommend it, but just tell me about it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll look into it. And I had never had the urge to watch it, and then you picked it for the podcast. So you know what, going into it with an optimistic mind. And I gotta say, I was surprised by this. I really, really like this movie, but it was so strange. It was a little surreal. It was just very disturbing. It had a lot of disturbing themes to it. I mean, I liked a lot of the creative choices with the movie. I did think the animation was fantastic. There was one scene in particular that I absolutely loved the animation of, where like it was almost like a cutout within the animation. It was in particular where like the group goes into like that new home and they start eating the crops, the carrots that the farmer left out for the other group.
Yeah.
And like all the others are kind of watching them eat it, and it kind of goes around to each different like section of them watching, and it's like cut out them in the middle eating them all, and then kind of like watching on the sides. Just the animation of that was so brilliant and so cool. And the opening intro, kind of like the biblical side of what's going on, I thought that was really unique and kind of cool. But damn, this movie was depressing. Wow.
Yeah.
Like I was shocked. Like when what's that bunny name? Oh my god, what's his name?
We got Hazel, we got Bigwig, we got Fiver, Dandelion, Blackberry.
Bigwig. It was when Bigwig got caught in the snare trap and was like suffocating and was like bleeding out of his mouth, and they're trying to save him, and he goes dark. I was literally sitting up in my seat, like borderline crying. I didn't even care for the character that much, but the animation and like them all around them and like the cuddly Disney 2D animation, I'm like, no. No. And then when he woke up, I'm like, thank God.
It's like the cutest animal on the planet, and they're getting murdered essentially. Like there's some insanely dark scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Like there's one
like when they were filling up the holes and like all of them were suffocating.
It reminded me of Nope almost, as they're almost getting like not eaten alive, but the imagery that it showed was like a hole that's getting slowly filled, and then just more and more rabbits are crushed together and dead. Like, what the fuck are we like?
No, thank you.
Yeah, sorry to. I guess that's a full-on spoiler. But also this movie.
But it does
78.
It does go into some really dark things, like the opposing like rabbit leader is like this like stereotype of what a leader would be. He's just kind of a a gang leader.
It was like
One
Negan
of his
or
eyes is
something.
cut. Exactly,
Yeah.
like the opposing group. And he basically was like, yeah, you can basically have whichever female rabbit you want. It's like he's keeping them as like
Fucking
prostitutes. And
weird.
it was just very, very brutal. Like
It's like Craster's Keep in
when
Game
they're
of
getting
Thrones.
shot at by the farmer, and just how real it feels. And just I laugh looking at this poster, because looking at it with no other context, it's like Homeward Bound
Exactly.
or something happy and fun. And then, like you said, with the snare, that's like one of the big ones where it's like, oh, and they're having to figure out how to do it and how to get him out. It was just very, very brutal and hard to watch at points, but I just appreciated the animation style.
I feel like you also learned a
Crazy.
lot about like rabbits and how they work. Like I didn't know a lot of the
I
terminology.
feel like I learned a lot about rabbits. And how
No,
they
I'm saying, like,
work.
because,
Quoted
like,
by
there-
John
there's-
Irvine.
I feel like they have there's terminal, like if you think of it like a group of crows is a murder, right? It's like, who the fuck decided that? Now in like a place where the rabbits live is a warren, like Ed and the Ray Warren live down there with them or something. Why is it called that? Oh, we have to find a new warren to live in. I'm like, what? It's just a hole in the ground. Who decided? Regardless, it's I feel like I did learn something amongst all of the rabbit murder going on in this film. Huh? What? Huh? I just blacked out for a second there.
No shit.
And
It was just
yeah.
different. It was just unlike anything I'd really seen before, especially in the style. And I like the themes that they were pushing. And I don't know. It was unique. It was weird. And of course, Nate picked it, introduced it to all of us to watch on the podcast. And I'm glad he did, though, because I did really, really enjoy it. And it pushed the medium of what we know of this like 2D animated kids type of movies to be. I mean, this could be way more. It could be very adult. It could kind of shove a message down your throat and do it in a very creative and cool style. So I really, really did enjoy it, but it's not one that I think I could rewatch a lot. But I'd love to show my, if I ever have kids, I'd love to show it to him when they're like 4 or 5.
Right. Fuck them up.
So just like mixed in the rotation of like, The Lion King, Spirited Away,
Watership Down.
Watership Down. Yeah, it's PG. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
The Evil
My Name is
Dead, if it
Totoro.
becomes animated.
yeah.
Green
Exactly.
Inferno.
Eternal Sunshine.
Normal movies like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess I'll go my grade. I went 3.5 out of 5. I really liked it. Not gonna lie.
Wow.
And it's kind of, it is an hour and 30 minutes, but it does feel a little long. But it could just be because of the style, and you're used to like animated films to be quite short, and maybe they were the
Fast-paced.
story structure of it was a little weird. But regardless, I still really, really liked it. So I went 3.5 out of 5 for Watership Down.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This movie's very fresh in my mind. I watched it. I woke up this morning, got some Uber Eats from Einstein Bagels. Took over an hour to get here. It arrived as the movie was ending. So I was a little hungry during the film, but I did enjoy myself. I was very comfortable watching it. I liked the animation. It was very unique. I found myself like at times wondering like, how did they like do that? Is the camera like, is this a little bit of like miniature almost, where they're like putting it cameras there, and then there's like different levels of animation, like paper that I don't know how the fuck they do that, but it looked really cool. So for the 70s, I was very shocked with the subject matter and how it was basically Avatar with rabbits, where they're just an obstacle in the way of these humans that are just trying to expand their farmland. So I really liked it. I matched your 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was a unexpectedly good, torturous animated film.
Okay. All right. 3.5 from me, Nate, the one that picked the movie. First time watch for everybody.
Yep.
What you got?
Is the Watership up or down? in this one for you?
Boys, we're gonna be doing some push-ups.
Oh,
All right.
fuck. No way.
I also
not
gave
going to
this a
3.5.
3.5 out of 5. I did. I did. It was very, very unique as far as that animation style, and I actually found myself getting really attached to these rabbits. Like Fiverr, the one that he's having these visions that
He has all this
something bad is going to
intuition.
happen. Exactly.
Yeah, it's very
And
cool.
that's what animals have. And then
instinct.
just seeing all the different ones in their positions, like Bigwig is kind of the security, Hazel's kind of the leader, Fiverr's the weak one, but he's almost like the Bran of the group. He sees everything that's about to happen, but he's like bound to a wheelchair.
He's like a warg. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
What
But it was
about
just
Clover?
Who?
The one who got killed by the hawk and like flown away, and they're like, "Well, Clover's gone."
Well, that was the
Violet. No, Violet.
Violet.
Yeah.
Violet.
They were like,
Violet's gone.
Yeah.
Violet's gone.
Oh,
Well,
so
we must
she just
move
sad.
on.
She goes out there in the
The only
morning
doe of
and
the
it's
group?
just like,
Oh, it must have been.
yeah, and then she goes out and starts eating stuff and caw, bird takes it, and Hazel's just like, oh shit, I better go tell everybody.
Yeah.
But it's very realistic in that sense that rabbits can just go out there, get snagged, and they can't do anything about it.
Oh my god, the scene behind you right now is so creepy.
Oh yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Us.
yeah.
So we're doing
All right,
push-ups.
so push-ups. So the movie came out
Rounded off
in
to 10.
1978. So I'm thinking
How many rabbits died in the movie? I think we should do like at least 20. I feel like there are at least 20 rabbits that died.
Or we
Remember
could combine all the stars and we could just round it off to 10.
John Hurt. Oh, one.
John Hurt? Okay. No, I don't think that's what he was talking about.
Just one push-up.
Because last time we did it
1978.
as like how many years that girl in Poltergeist should have lived, so we did 12. But I feel like we should keep it to the death element of the show, where it's like a lot of rabbits
Why do we
died.
focus on death, bro?
1978. Got 79 Rotten Tomatoes. How about 7?
7 push-ups? That's nothing. 7? Okay.
We got a podcast here. We can't
All
have
right,
dead
fine.
airspace.
Okay.
Yeah,
7
we've got trivia to do.
Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. All right. Well,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
that's stupid. Also, I hate odd numbers.
Yeah, but 7's a good odd number though because it's 7. It's lucky.
Is it? Okay. Yeah,
All
so
right.
that's water nuts down.
Yeah.
I like
Watership.
John, I don't make fun of the movies you pick.
Yes, you do. What the
It's
fuck?
No, I don't.
It is
Sometimes.
on HBO Max. I think it's just called Max now. Not even HBO.
It's just called Max,
So
and there's nothing good on there. So
I try
all
opening
just
HBO
HGTV
Max
shit.
and it just says currently unavailable.
yeah.
yeah, it's fucked.
All right, so that was Nate's pick, and technically, I goofed. The movie that we talked about on this podcast should have been my pick. Nate went twice in a row, or like I don't know. I skipped myself essentially because I thought that Nate's pick was. I thought my pick was Dracula, and it was actually Nate's pick. So I went back to him. Yeah, I fucked up.
Idiot.
With Watership down, we saw it. We talked about it. We all liked it. We all did push-ups. But back to me. And I didn't know
It is about
what
you
to
at the end of
pick
the day.
because we're not doing Spooktober right now. We're in Oscar season, but I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go through some like Oscar movies. I didn't know what to do. So essentially, I was like, oh, I got an idea. I'm gonna go. Since I have to pick 3 movies for you guys to vote on, I'm gonna
Like it
go
just
with a
keeps
movie
going.
that's on Nate's watch list, on John's watch list, and my watch list. So this is what we're gonna do here. So from John's watch list,
I don't really update my watch list all that often. So
You don't. I don't think so. I've seen all these movies for a while here.
Yeah,
But
I need to get back to it.
I was looking at John's watch list and I was like, okay, what movie can I pick? And I went with Across the Universe.
Oh,
I saw
This
this a
is-
long time ago.
Okay, so Nate
Very
has seen
long
this
time.
movie.
I've wanted to
Because
see
this
this
was
for a
I've
also on
long
seen-
Nate's.
time.
This was also on Nate's watch list too. So I was like, okay, kind of a little two birds, one stone here. But
It was a long time ago, though. But I do remember things about it because of the Beatle stuff.
Yep.
But I would watch it again because I don't
This
remember the
is-
story.
essentially, yeah, like they took the Beatles lyrics and made a story out of it. I used to watch it all the time back on DVD. It was like one of the only DVDs I had growing up. So I used to watch it a bit, but I haven't seen it like since then. So it's been a long time since I've watched it, but I would love to watch it again and see where we all stand. Plus, John's never seen it. I don't know. Maybe
And Evan
that'd
Rachel
be up
Wood's in
his
it.
alley. So, Across the Universe is the first pick from John's watch list. So,
Yep.
then I
love
was on Nate's watch list. I was like, all right, what movies can I pick from Nate's
Mine is
watch
very
list that
different.
he's seen? And then I was
my
like,
God,
oh, wow,
like,
I got to
of
a
the
very
Caribbean?
mainstream section. Back if you go to the 6th page on his watch list, you can finally get to some mainstream picks, which is kind of funny because I don't necessarily
What's my first
remember or
page?
know. It's a lot of like Criterion type of stuff from what I remember.
Gotcha.
Like it's
It's all
like
those Bellatar movies and
I was like, I haven't heard of
yeah.
any of
Oh
these
my
things.
God. Okay.
Nor are these
Okay.
streaming really. So I was like, okay, back here, kind of in the John Mervine section, which I kind
Thank
of was
you.
like, okay, maybe we'll see what happens here. And I was shocked to know that. Well, first of all, I feel like you've seen maybe a couple of these that just you haven't logged on Letterboxd, but I was shocked to know that you had never seen Sin City.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went with this because this is a Robert Rodriguez movie, and Quentin Tarantino even had his hands in making this. It's very, very unique and different, and unlike any movie you've probably ever seen. And it's one that I think that you should definitely check out here at some point. So
And
I
Bruce
was shocked to know
Willis is-
that you'd never seen Sin City. So I went with that for your watch list. And for my
Hmm.
watch list, I didn't know what to really pick here. But then I settled on something. And I was like, oh, okay. This would be a first time watch for everybody. And I don't really know much about it, but this is the directorial debut of a movie. I mean, this director, he made a movie that John loved, but this is his directorial debut. It's called Shithouse.
Okay. Cooper Ray.
By Cooper Rave.
Yeah.
This is the movie
Oh
that
my
got him Cha
goodness.
Cha real smooth, and it has really good reviews. I've heard that it's a great coming of age movie set in college. So I was like, oh, okay, that might be a nice little fall Thanksgiving type of movie to watch. So I went with Shithouse, movie that I've been wanting to watch for a while now. I love Cha Cha real smooth, and this is the movie that he made that got him that job. So, or funding, I should say. So yeah, so we have Shithouse, Sin City, and Across the
Shithouse.
Universe. Bunch of movies here, so we'll have to
Okay.
vote.
Um,
Shithouse, Sin City,
is-
Across the Universe.
that is so tough. I think those are all great choices.
I have my answer.
Nate has his answer. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Nate
I'm
has
good
his
to go.
answer. John has his answer. They are typing it out in the chat, and they're sending it in 3, 2, 1. Send. Oh boy! Across the universe, across the
Oh.
universe, across the universe. It is okay. We're going
Wow.
to watch.
Spencer, what was your pick?
Across
Just in
the
case.
universe. I mean, what was your
would've-
backup, Nate? If you couldn't do Across the Universe, Shithouse or
Sin City.
what would you? Okay,
It would have been
If
Sin City.
it was Across the
Okay.
Universe or Sin City, probably would have gone with Sin City. But Across
I think
the
Sin
Universe,
City would be a more fun conversation.
I think so, and it's got
But-
a sequence that I think Nate would go bananas over. The Elijah Wood.
Is it because
sequence,
Jessica
but-
Alba's in it?
Well, that too. That one, yeah, I think you would like.
I mean, that's
the
a good
Elijah
one.
Wood
That's a good one,
sequence where he plays a certain character.
my
that
first
I think
love.
you'd love, but yeah,
I had
Across
a
the
poster of
Universe.
Jessica
I wanna
Alba
revisit
in my
this.
room growing up. So
Yeah.
yep. Okay.
I've
Hi.
never seen it, so
Nope. And Evan
that's
Rachel Wood.
gonna
did
be-
it, so.
it's gonna be the movie we're gonna be watching in the next 2 weeks. So if you have Max, HBO Max, that's where it's streaming. So go and watch it. Across the Universe.
Their version of Hey Jude is like
Yeah.
pristine. It's awesome the way they tell it.
If you when you do watch it over the next 2 weeks, make sure you blast sound because it is it's great music and it's trippy.
Very fun
trippy.
love movie based on the Beatles. I like it.
I love it, and hopefully
like
it's better than yesterday was.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. But anyways, yeah, let's move on.
Like,
to
oh
the
wait,
final...
actually, I retract that pick.
Let's move on to the final and most anticipated segment of the show.
It's time for the answers. You know this fact. For the questions I'm about to ask, like,
What is the capital of Bolivia? It's
mainstream boy trivia.
Yeah, mainstream boy trivia, everybody. Welcome to the best part of the show. We have, it looks like 16 minutes to do this. But yeah, mainstream boy trivia obviously is the mainstream boy trivia experience. The game will consist of a variety of questions derived from me. And each game will feature a new topic that each question will be in the spirit of. Spencer and Nate will buzz in, trying to guess the correct answer in the private chat. What is the word you guys are going to be using as your buzz-in word? Please let me know.
Wait,
I thought we were
in the
just typing it
chat?
out in the chat.
Yeah, you're gonna use Ducky. You're gonna use Debbie. You're gonna use Flapjack. What are you
Nate.
gonna use? Nate.
Actually, I'm gonna do.
Actually, I think I might just do Quack.
You're gonna go Quack. Cotton-headed Nick. Okay, well that's gonna take a while to type out. I hope you have it copy and pasted, ready to go. You're a cotton-headed Niggy Muggins. I'm a cotton-headed Niggy Muggins. I can't even. Do not say that 5 times fast. Do not say that 5 times fast. Yeah, they're gonna buzz in. First dude to 3 points is gonna win the coveted honor of being named Mainstream Boy of the Week. I don't know the current records. I think it's either tied.
Spencer's winning. Spencer's winning.
I might be
Okay,
winning
well,
by one game.
yeah, we've done
No.
8 episodes though, so I don't know. I don't think all of those have mainstream. Either way, it doesn't matter. Let's get into it. The types of questions, obviously, guess the film, movie quotes, mainstream movies only. Who's that movie dude? There's gonna be a lot of different variety of questions, but this week, this topic is
Sylvester Stallone.
anything and everything. Questions will consist of anything to do with movies. Nothing is off limits. Good luck.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Pitch Perfect
Okay.
3.
It's actually just all pitch perfect, meaning and nothing's off limits, but it's still all pitch perfect. No.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, if you guys are ready, if you need to take a bathroom break, let me know. We can wait. It's up to you. Or are we good?
Nope. I'm
Okay.
good.
Good to go.
Okay. Here we go with question 1. It's gonna be Quack and Deb here. Question 1. Who's that movie dude? This could be a man or a woman. All right. So there's going to be 5 hints. Whoever gets it first gets the point. This is the first hint. You can buzz in now or you can wait. For the audio listeners, one of the first hints is I have a skin in Fortnite. Deb.
Is it Keanu Reeves as John Wick?
I have to click through that.
That's so much worse than just being told wrong.
It is. Yeah, sorry. Ducky, do you want to buzz in?
I had
If
to take
you
a
don't have
shot.
to. You might as well. There's no
That means
penalty for buzzing in right now.
Okay, Quack. I have a skin in Fortnite. Let's go with Zendaya from Dune. Cool.
Correct. That is I didn't make that, but okay. All right. Second hint is I was in the 2019 film Just Mercy. Ducky.
Is it Brie Larson?
That is correct. It is Brie Larson.
Isn't it actually Captain Marvel?
Nope. She was in several Marvel movies. She was also in Just Mercy. She was in The Spectacular Now, and she's an Oscar-winning actress. It is Brie Larson.
But Brie Larson doesn't have a skin in Fortnite. Captain Marvel does.
She actually has she has another skin in Fortnite where she's a character in the battle pass, and it is literally her face. So it is her. It's not Brie Larson though, and she also
Exactly.
is Marvel. Anyway, moving on here. Question 2. Ducky up 1-0. Name the movie
protest.
from the cast. Here we go. Danny Glover, Kate Mara, and Michael Pena. Deb.
Was this the Fantastic Four?
It's incorrect.
I already kind of went into this knowing I'm probably not going to get any right.
Ducky.
I haven't even seen this movie, but I feel like they're all in this. Is it The Lazarus Effect? Okay, all right.
Okay, so
That's Rooney Mara. Damn it.
that is Rooney Mara.
No,
So-
Olivia Wilde. It's Olivia Wilde. Okay, sorry.
Oh, it is. I'm going to give you one more actor that's in the movie until you guys are able to get it. I would be hot on the buzzer, okay? Mark Wahlberg. Ducky?
I think it's unfair to Nate because I don't think he's seen this movie, but it's the Antoine Fuqua movie, Shooter.
Yeah, it is. It is Shooter.
Never heard of it.
Does that mean you win? No, you need to get 3. You need to get 3. Okay. Yeah, it is the Antoine Fuqua movie, Shooter from 2007 with Mark Wahlberg. Okay. Speaking of shooters, I thought it would be on brand with The Killer. Question 3. Sorry. I don't know.
I was like, what's the connection that you said?
Yeah, it's just random, but here we go. Name the movie from the synopsis. Nate, I hope you've seen this. If Spencer gets this, I'm not going to give it to him. Here we go.
You have to, though. That's the fair game.
A woman with a tragic past decides to start her new life by hiking for 1,000 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail. Debbie.
Wild?
That's correct. It is Wild. Yes. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. You got it's the 2014 film Wild of Reese Witherspoon. Oh, I don't know why the post.
Reese Witherspoon. I saw Pacific
Yeah.
Crest Trail first, and I was like, oh, okay. That's
Oh, I didn't know that was going to be the thing that sold it. But yeah, no, she did do that in the movie. She finds herself. So good for her.
in the
Question
wild.
4. Ducky up 2-1. Here we go. Name the movie from the characters' names. These are the names that the characters have in the film. I'm going to give you 4 character names, and you're going to have to guess what movie it is. Understood?
Sure.
I'll take the silence as a yes. Candy, Faith, Britt, Cotty, and Alien. There's one name in there that should be a dead giveaway of what film this is. Candy, Faith, Britt, Cotty, and Alien. Ducky?
Earth to Echo. The delay is everything.
It's not Earth Echo. So all right, Nate, if you give a guess and it's wrong, I'm gonna give you guys one more clue until you get it right.
This probably, I know it's not right, but it's Pitch Perfect.
That's wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you who plays one of these characters. The character that plays Faith is played by Selena Gomez. Debbie?
Spring Breakers.
That is correct. It is Spring Breakers. Alien is played by
James Franco.
James Franco, yes. Yep. Spring Breakers, baby. Spring Break. Yeah.
Speaking
She
of
Benson's in
vibes.
the movie. Yeah, right. Talk about the vibes that I want to be part of. Why are we question 3? Oops, my bad, everybody. Yeah, so it's a
Wild.
tie. It's a tie going into the last question. I think this might be the first time this has happened. Ducky, come on, off to a strong start, but what happened, buddy?
I don't know. I just didn't know the last couple. I had wild, but Nate beat me to the buzzer. So to be fair, Nate just was faster on that end, and I
All
didn't
right.
know the answer. But sometimes
Throw
you
it in
just
the
have to
oven.
Yeah,
just hope
yeah,
for the
throw it in
best.
the oven. You might have to throw this game in the
Throw him
oven
in the oven,
and
get rid
be
of
ready
those
for next week.
wrinkles.
But John Voight doesn't know any better. Okay. So final question. I'm trying to remember what this is a weird one. This one is kind of out there. I was running out of ideas. But here we go. Get in your 2016 vibes, okay? Think of 2016 movies, specifically Felicity Jones starred in 4 films during 2016. Here are 2 of them. Can you name one of the other 2? The 2 films are mentioned as Collide and Inferno. Spencer looks... Oh, no. Nate.
No, Nate got it first.
Yes, it is.
Nate. Yep, Nate looks like you buzzed in first.
Oh. Theory of Everything?
Really?
So
So
correct.
you went with Rogue One then?
That's correct.
Okay. If you can name the other one, Nate, it'll be a tie.
Can I have a second to think about it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Rogue One, Collide, Inferno.
2016. I'll give a clue if Spencer allows a clue. Oh, Spencer's already looking at it.
No, I
don't
just
even
think that
know
you're.
if
I
I've
think
seen
that
it.
you're wrong. Oh, I know what you went with. Okay, I thought you went with a certain movie, but you went with a different one. Okay.
I probably don't even know this movie, to be honest, because I've never heard of Collide.
I know you do because when Spencer brought up the watch list, this was on there.
It was on your watch list, Nate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
Yeah.
It was on my watch
first movie.
list?
It's the first movie I think on your watch
Yeah,
list.
it's
Yeah,
the very
like at the
first
very
film on
back.
Because
Very,
you brought
very
it up, I'm like,
back
oh,
of
this will
your
be
watch
perfect.
list.
Maybe he'll get it then.
Yeah, no.
no?
It's not like the Aeronauts or anything.
No, it is it's a Monster Calls. The Liam Neeson
Well,
movie.
I've never
where he
seen
was
it,
free.
so I don't know.
Right, no,
I didn't
that's
even
what
know
I'm
she was in that.
It's the first movie that's on your watch list, and way back, page 7 of Monster Calls.
Oh, it's
He
the
doesn't
last
click
movie on
that
my watch
far.
list.
Yeah, exactly, it's the first movie you added to your watch list.
But when you made a watch list, the first movie you thought of was, oh, a Monster Calls with Felicity Jones. So like,
Yeah, but I didn't even know she was in that. So
Tom Holland did all the motion capture work for the
Okay.
tree.
yeah,
Fun fact.
Tom
I
Holland.
thought you
was
went with
the tree?
Masters of Sex or whatever that movie's called.
No,
she's not in that.
that movie wasn't.
Oh wait,
2016
that's
though.
Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, it was 2018. Battle of the... No, that was the Emma Stone movie.
No, it's on the basis.
I
of
was
sex.
on the
thinking
basis
that-
of
I was
sex.
thinking that.
Something, whatever.
Yeah,
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 I was
same thing.
thinking.
Anyways.
Yeah,
but
That's
I
what
was
thought you were talking about.
I was looking. I'm like, I was gonna do like, pick 2 movies, and then you have to name like from a director, and you have to name the one that was released in between those 2 movies or something. But then I settled on this as another idea. But we'll do that another time. Either way, Spencer with the very last minute victory pulled this one out. Congratulations.
Oh,
You are Mainstream Boy of the Week.
heard this one yet? Oh, wow.
Good job.
I
Did it.
It's
How's
not-
it
so I
feel?
guess that just means
There
I'm
isn't
gonna
any
get.
more?
No, that's it. You 3 out of 5. You won.
No, I meant
Good
like
job.
more to the theme song because it kind of cut out in the middle of it. I was hoping to maybe get all of it, but
Oh, I can.
yeah, hell yeah, let's go. Movie trivia.
I thank
Yeah, no,
my
anyways.
last job for giving me access to Artlist and never changing the password, and that's where I got that from. So you.
So we have a whole bunch more movies coming out in the next couple of weeks. Our next podcast, when is our next podcast? This episode comes out on the 13th of November. The next podcast will be on the 27th of November. So in between then, we have Hunger Games, Ballad of the Snakes or something.
Ballad of a Homeschool Girl.
Songbirds,
Ballad of
and
Songbirds and
Snakes.
Snakes.
You have an Eli Roth slasher movie called Thanksgiving. Trolls Band Together, which John had a screening of that he didn't go to this past weekend. Next Goal Wins. Taika Waititi's next movie. You have a Please Don't Destroy movie coming out on Peacock. The SNL guys have an actual movie coming out, which will be interesting. We have Ridley Scott's Napoleon, a Walt Disney movie called Wish, Good Burger 2. I mean, it's just stacked with all the great movies coming out.
Good Burger 2 is coming out.
Good Burger 2 on Paramount Plus. So
dude,
get ready for that.
I saw it when I was as a preview for Priscilla. They're making a remake of Mean Girls.
Yes, the musical
God.
that comes out in January in theaters. Yeah. So
that has some actors from the
Tina
Sex
Fey
Lives
and
of
Tim Meadows
College Girls.
are in it. Yeah, so a whole bunch of movies coming out in the next couple of weeks. Just keep track of what you guys end up watching, and we'll talk about it on the next podcast. So that's it, John. Where can they follow us and find us?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be at ThoseMovieDudes on TikTok, X, Instagram. Type in ThoseMovieDudes podcast, all one word in lowercase, on YouTube to find the actual show and watch it in full HD. And leave a like and comment and hit that post notification button in the upper right hand corner. All that shit. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Nate, and I wipe from back to front.
What the fuck? All right. 4-3-7. We did it.
Let's go.